Jax, can you put into words just how different you are now compared to exactly 1 year ago? How different of a player, of a person you are?
For sure. Yeah, I think definitely over the last year, a lot changed physically and mentally. Last year, I didn't play obviously as much as I wanted to, but didn't want to waste the years in terms of being here. And I think obviously it's early in the year. It's just 1 week so far, but in terms of last year, like I wasn't playing, so something had to change. And I was playing behind so many good players, Neville, Arrows, Hurd. There was a lot to learn, in terms of just baseball. So it was really like could have been a really good year to just learn a lot from those guys, which I think I did really well, just being around so much talent and really good players. And then obviously on the physical side, putting on a lot of strength and speed and making really the most of my time, even though I wasn't on the field, I think helped a lot. It kind of just changed, just my skill set overall in terms of what I'm kind of available to add now to the game. So I'd say those two pieces definitely helped me the most and get to where I'm at now as a player.
Is it right? How would you describe yourself as a hitter? You showcased a lot of gap-to-gap power over the weekend. Just how would you describe your hitting ability as a player?
Yeah, I'd say just a switch hitter from both sides of the plate, a guy who can skill and really make hard contact is kind of my goal. Just bat to ball qualities. I think definitely over the preseason, kind of was probably trying to reach for some power and stuff over like scrimmages and stuff, and really just trying to stay disciplined in terms of like my hitting, like approach. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. And then the power comes from there, like you kind of saw this weekend. But I think as long as I kind of just stay disciplined and just kind of like let my tools play, not trying to do too much and just stay like short myself, I think my switch hitting qualities I can bring not only kind of keep me at the best of my game, but help us win a lot.
Yeah.
How did your approach in the offseason change knowing you have a bigger role this year, and what did you learn about that in your first games over the weekend?
Yeah, I was kind of talking with Waz a little bit on this week. Is just kind of doing what I do is kind of what got me here, and don't really change that much. I think kind of through preseason is over swinging, kind of like getting myself out a lot, missing pitches, and I think at the end of the day, it was doing what I do really well, puts me in the best position in the games. So yeah, just kind of sticking with that. And honestly, the approach that always has worked for me is working deep in counts, being a good overall hitter, getting on base a lot. And that's what my role is. That's what I have to do to help this team win and make us at our best. So continuing just to do that and just kind of play my game.
Right back here, right? How much confidence does it give you if the coaches slot you in the 2-hole in the lineup to start the season?
Yeah, obviously, a big role. I think, really wherever I hit in the lineup doesn't matter too much, but I think, shows the ability of what I can do. But at the end of the day, it's just a role to help the team win and kind of do what I've never needed to act on that position. But obviously, good to be at the top of the lineup and be a table setter, but hitting behind guys like Ryan, even Brooks when he turns the lineup over, and then the guys behind me puts me in a really good position to succeed around those guys.
Back right, Aaron.
Now that you've kind of got a chance to reflect on the weekend, what are some things that the team is focused on this week in practice, preparing for another 4-game series at home?
Yeah, good question. We kind of talked about it at practice a little bit yesterday. Middle innings, we came out like hot in a lot of those games, scoring a lot really early, putting up some cricket numbers, and then kind of, mellowed out as the game went on through the middle innings. So continuing to like kind of split the game up into 3 innings apiece, split it up, and then continuing to win. Win those middle innings will be huge. That'll be a big thing for us this weekend. But I think continuing to kind of just each guy do what they do really, really well has kind of been a thing we've been focused on recently. And I think you saw this weekend in terms of the pitching staff, which absolutely showed out. The offense kind of just all around defensively, we played really clean this weekend. So I think continuing just to do what we do really well and we'll be in a really good position to win.
Right back here, Joey.
Waz has talked about how the profile of this offense has some speed. You're one of those guys with that speed. From a player's perspective, what can that do for this offense over the course of an entire season, having that many guys that can push it on the base paths?
Yeah, I think what it does the most, it just allows a lot of consistency. You have a lot of ways to score and a lot of ways to get guys on base, and base runners equals runs, and that's how you win games. But I think it's a really big piece. You have a lot of guys that can run, and not only is that good on the base pass, but I think hitting as well. I mean, how many ground balls are going to beat out, turning a single into a double, that changes the game a lot just right there. But I think in terms of offensively, what it does also does a lot defensively. I think we have the best infield in the country, in terms of what those guys can do defensively, and all of them can run. And then outfield as well, it just saves a lot of runs a game. Then you can also generate a lot more runs as well.